Look at exactly what's happening. Plus, we'll update you on a SWAT situation in Colorado Springs as police execute a search warrant. And Terry wasn't kidding. A winter storm pushes into southern Colorado overnight, bringing plenty of damaging winds. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. I'm Niki Weirich. In case you were starting to miss winter, it has returned, at least for a little while. Let's head straight to Chief Meteorologist Terry Gerbstat with the latest now in our Fox Fastcast. Terry?
Yes, Nikki, we are in the midst of a hopefully short-term visit by Old Man Winter. Take a look at these numbers right here. These are 24-hour temperature changes. This was a serious, major cold front that moved through between yesterday at 6 o'clock and today at 6 o'clock. It is 49 degrees colder in Colorado Springs, 53 in Pueblo, 55 in Springfield, 59 degrees colder in Lamar, and 56 in La Junta. We'll start to improve those temperatures a little bit tomorrow, but it's going to be cold coming up tonight. Now, we had the winds and we had the colder temperatures, a little light on the snow. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Right now, let's take a look at the temperatures out there. 18 in Colorado Springs, 22 in Pueblo, 23 in La Junta, 23 in Springfield, 19 in Trinidad. Take a look at the winds. It's still blowing pretty good in some places. 29 miles an hour, Colorado Springs, 17 Pueblo, 20s La Junta, Lamar. Springfield is in the 30s, 12 miles an hour there in Trinidad. So what does that do to the wind chills? Here are the wind chill temperatures. This is what it feels like as you head out right now. Feels like it's 1 below in Colorado Springs, 9 below in Lyman, 8 in Pueblo, single digits in La Junta, Lamar, Springfield, and Trinidad, and 11 in Alamosa. So tonight, not a real good night to be heading out of the house. Let's take a look and see what we expect for this evening. It is going to be windy at times. Wind gusts could get up around 35, 40 miles an hour. Not as bad as last night or earlier today, but it's going to take those wind chills down there. As you saw, a little light snow possible through some of the evening hours. Most of that should get out of here overnight. At 7 o'clock, temperature 17 in the Springs, 22 in Pueblo. Teens and 20s at 9, likewise at 11 o'clock tonight. And again, with the winds, those wind chills probably close to zero, especially as we get toward the midnight hour. So keep that in mind. It's going to be cold out there tonight and cold early tomorrow morning. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later in the show. Right now, back downtown. Nikki.
All right, sounds good. Thanks so much, Terry. Well, as we told you, the storm bringing with it strong winds, some reaching speeds of 50 to 60 miles per hour. Fox 21's Abby Burke joins us live now with a look at the current conditions and some of that damage. Abby?
Well, Nikki, like Terry said, the wind is still blowing out here and those temperatures have dropped. It's really cold and really quite miserable to be outside right now. So if you can stay at home tonight, seen here behind me, you can see this fence blown over. And actually all up and down along this stretch of jetwing here near Fountain, you can see that story kind of repeat itself. Multiple areas of fences blown over from that wind. And that damage was found throughout Colorado Springs. Several of you sent photos in showing us what happened in your backyard. And in Pueblo, some major destruction at the Outpost Harley-Davidson building. A large part of that building was blown out. I just got a big strong gust right there in my mouth. Roads in the area had to be shut down for a few hours while crews worked to make sure the area was safe, but there were no reports of any injuries. And meanwhile, one woman in Colorado Springs woke up to a new trampoline in her yard, courtesy of her neighbors, which was delivered to her by the wind.
I saw it coming up to the fence and I'm like, ooh, one good hard gust and it's going to go flipping over. And about an hour later, you know, the kids come running, Miss Barbie, guess what? We got a trampoline. So they were quite excited.
Now, unfortunately for those kids, that trampoline did have to be returned, but a lot of people had today off and were able to enjoy the warm outdoors. But I think we can all agree that today was much more of a wind day than a snow day. Reporting live in Colorado Springs, Abby Burke, Fox 21 News.
All right, Abby, thanks so much for that report tonight. The snow and wind affecting hundreds of flights in Denver. Take a look at this airport cam. There are around 500 cancellations at DIA. Many were commuter flights. Travelers still facing delays of between 15 and 30 minutes. Crews are working to clear blowing snow from runways. Colorado Springs Police Department executing a search warrant on a home this afternoon. It's in connection with an ongoing criminal investigation. It may be connected to this weekend's deadly shooting at the Yukon Bar and Grill on South Circle near Airport. 3 people were shot early Sunday morning, 2 men and a woman. One of the male victims died at the scene. The other 2 are expected to be okay. Today's search warrant happening a block away on Garrow. At one point, the SWAT team set off some type of flashbang.
It was just crazy. All we heard was the explosion. We couldn't see anything else. And then we sat outside for like half an hour just watching the guys go in and out of the house.
No one was home during that search. Fox 21 is working to get additional details once they become available. The Colorado Department of Corrections announcing a new policy today. It has directed all state parole officers to respond within 2 hours to alerts from electronic monitoring equipment worn by parolees. The policy took effect April 7th, this after an ongoing review of the department's parole operations. 2 Colorado Springs men taken into custody this morning on suspicion of impersonating a police officer and DUI. Officers responded to a Wendy's on South Academy shortly after 3 a.m. for a traffic disturbance. The vehicle was blocking the path of the victim's car at the drive-thru. One of the suspects approached the victim claiming to be an undercover officer. Travis McClendon later admitted he was not an officer. He was arrested, as well as David Phillips, who was driving the vehicle McClendon was in. El Paso County Sheriff's deputies arrest a man for child sex assault. 39-year-old Carmen Centennial, a teacher at Otero Elementary School in Harrison School District 2. The investigation revealing Centennial had sexual contact on more than one occasion with a 15-year-old girl. She's not related to Centennial. Carmen is being held on $10,000 bond. The Broadmoor is hosting some of the most intelligent men and women from all over the world this week at the Space Symposium. Well, we only had Fox 21's John Martin, so we just decided to send him.
It is the 29th annual Space Symposium here at the Broadmoor, where there's so much exciting stuff going on. I don't know anything about it, so I'm going to talk to Janet Stevens. Janet, tell me a little bit about what's happening all around us here at the Broadmoor.
Well, like you said, this is a 29th National Space Symposium, which means we've been doing it for 29 years. We bring space professionals together, plus an exhibit hall where companies talk with potential customers about all the wonderful services they offer.
The Colorado Space Coalition is a trade organization that is standing up space in the state of Colorado. And basically it's representing all of the large and smaller aerospace companies. And we've got a lot of them because Colorado is the second strongest aerospace economy in the United States.
I've never really felt as insecure about my intelligence as I have walking around. What's the average IQ of the people in this room?
You know, we don't test the average IQ, but there are a lot of people here who have PhDs.
Where a propulsion system like this embedded inside the ring will provide propulsion to be able to push these to different orbits and drop them off where they need to be, as opposed to just being dropped off wherever the first satellite was going, the larger satellite. Also in here is something called
There's incredibly smart people here.
You know, you hear a lot of times it's not rocket science. Here it actually
it's
is rocket science.
It's KXRM Fox 21 News. Signing off.
Home, see us delivering the news from our studios every day, but our Wooten studio is currently under construction. Fox 21 Sam Baranowski takes us through the dust and the drywall on a behind-the-scenes tour. Sam?
This is a spot a lot of you probably recognize, the anchor desk that's on the air every night, but just beyond that, well, this is where all the magic happens. But being in the same room as our set, well, it's pretty cramped, so we're growing up and getting out of that room we've been in for 6 years and tackling construction of our new news home.
Just reconfigure the room, it opens everything up, and it'll actually feel like a much bigger room.
So this is the room where all of our news operations are going to be moving. It's obviously a lot bigger, a lot more breathing room for our producers and reporters to get their jobs done, but today, this reporter's job? Tackling these walls because they got to come down. Nikki, back to you.
Well, don't worry, folks. She's going to swing that sledgehammer. We're doing some of the demolition ourselves tonight at 9. You don't want to miss it. Well, you may think it's pretty windy out there, but other parts of the state were hit with a tornado. More on that crazy weather, and Terry will have your forecast coming up next.
You are watching Fox 21 News at 6:30. Live from downtown Colorado Springs, this is Fox 21 News at 6:30.
some snow flurries and heavy winds here, but at least we're not seeing tornadoes in our neck of the woods. Check out this video in Yuma County, Colorado of a tornado touching down and churning up dust in the area. You can see dark skies and big clouds taking over most of the sky, and it looks like some storm chasers spotted this tornado right outside their window. Pretty scary, Terry.
Tornadoes yesterday. Today it was all snow in eastern Colorado with those cold temperatures and some strong winds. Now we talked about the winds, we talked about the temperatures, we talked about those cold wind chills. Let's take a look at the snow right now. The snow hasn't been a real big player. It's been more wind and cold temperatures, but we're seeing some light snow to the south of Colorado Springs, off to the west of Pueblo, moving off to the north. As we back off a little bit, we'll see that there's a little more moisture off to the south, still trying to work its way to the north. So we still could see a few isolated snow showers through the evening hours. Much of this dies down overnight, as we'll see in a minute on Future View. But the National Weather Service is going to hold on to a winter weather advisory through 9 o'clock tonight. We'll take a look at that. This is this highlighted area. It includes the San Gabriel Cristos and the Wet Mountains down in through Levita Pass. If you're going up and over Levita Pass tonight, could be a little bit of a problem with some light snow and some wind. Also out to the east of us, La Junta down through the eastern portions of Los Animas County, Eads, Kit Carson, up through the northeast part of the state. Again, all under that winter weather advisory through about 9 o'clock tonight. Then things start to taper off after that. Speaking of tapering off, let's take a look at Future View overnight, and you can see most of the activity dies down. At least the snow dies down. That's that area in blue as you get up tomorrow morning. Probably more clouds than sun in many places, and it's going to be cold, and we're still going to see some winds. It won't be like it was this morning, but it'll still be windy out there. We'll see winds between 10 and 20 miles an hour. So there are the temperatures, but it'll feel colder than that with those wind chill temperatures. Then during the day, we'll see mostly cloudy skies. Maybe we could cook up a few isolated snow showers. Most of those should be over the mountains. Eastern Colorado will stick with some windy conditions, some cool temperatures, and some clouds out there. Then overnight, tomorrow night, that storm finally gets out of here. We start Thursday with some sunshine and some cold temperatures, but look at this, another weak system coming our way. Won't be like the one that just moved through, but it will give us some clouds as the day goes on Thursday, and by late in the day, a few isolated rain showers late in the day and in through the evening hours through the eastern part of the state, and a little bit of snow possible over the higher elevations, and warmer temperatures, so the temperatures will be in the 50s for most of us east of the mountains. So for tonight, here's what we're looking for. A few isolated snow showers possible. Again, it's going to be windy. Those winds could get up, gusts up around 35, 40 miles an hour. There are the overnight low temperatures, mostly in the single digits and teens. But again, with the winds, we're going to see temperatures or wind chills down around 0, below 0 in some places. So it's going to seem very cold overnight tonight and early tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, the winds blow again around 10 to 20 miles an hour. Most places will look for partly to mostly cloudy skies, and there are the high temperatures, a little warmer than today. Certainly not a heat wave, but it'll feel better. 38 in Lamar, 34 Springfield, 33 Trinidad, 34 in Walsenburg, 37 Canyon City, some 40s in Alamosa and Salida. What about the Pikes Peak region? It's coming up right here. We'll look for high temperatures in the 20s in Black Forest, Monument, and Woodland Park. We'll try something around 35 degrees in Fountain. After today, that doesn't sound too bad. Let's take a look at that forecast for Colorado Springs. Could see a few isolated snow showers through the evening hours. I think overnight tonight, again, the big problem, the winds and the cold temperatures. We could see some gusts up around 35, 40 miles an hour, especially during the evening hours. Wind chills will drop below 0 overnight and early tomorrow morning. Temperature itself could dip as low as 10 degrees in Pueblo. Same kind of thing. Some light snow showers possible, otherwise windy with some wind chills in the single digits. Look for a temperature of 14 for your overnight low. Then coming up for tomorrow, partly to mostly cloudy. Again, windy, but nothing like today. Winds of 10 to 20 miles an hour. But certainly in the morning time, if the kids are headed out or you're headed out early, the wind chills will be below 0. We should get to 32 before the day is over. And in Pueblo, early morning wind chills in the single digits, high temperature of 38 degrees. So it's going to be cold tonight. It's going to feel cold tomorrow. Then we see some improvements starting on Thursday. And wait till you see the weekend. Doesn't look too bad. A nice recovery coming in our direction. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. Right now we're headed back to our downtown studio. Nikki.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Terry. Well, stick with us. We got a Foxy Go Green mom sharing some green living tips. That live interview coming up next.
Can you just give me a mic check to talk real quick?
Hi, how's that? Does that work good?
Yep.
Mommy,
We're good.
Start moving it over? Or?
Yeah, we can bring all that in now.
Okay. What, Jade?
Here, I'll...
You need any help?
Sure.
Geez, all kinds of fun stuff.
Hear me.
Sorry,
No worries,
I need to back this up just a little bit.
Oh, back a little bit more.
Jade, you go over there with Dad, please.
That's good.
Yep.
So, put that there because I'll have you mix those. So I'm going to talk about organic skincare and using kitchen stuff, and I'll have you test. Just rub a little coconut oil into your hand.
Okay.
And then
Mixing this and what?
Yeah,
This? Okay.
and that, yeah. So
And this is homemade soap?
that's Castile soap.
We've got a local mom sharing some green living tips tonight. Joining me now for our Foxy Moms Go Green segment is Donica Carter. So first, thanks so much for coming in tonight.
Oh,
we appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we want to eliminate all those chemicals that we don't want to put on our skin. These are alternatives that you can do at home. Pretty simple, right?
Exactly. So with skincare, what you put on is absorbed right into your bloodstream.
Right.
So you either want to buy certified organic products to make sure that there's no chemicals, there's no pesticide residues, or genetically modified ingredients, or you can use things that you have at home. Kitchen oils are great body moisturizers. They're also great for removing your eye makeup. For instance, coconut oil is a really great one if you want to rub that into your skin.
It smells really good,
Does
too.
it
It
smell
smells so fresh.
And like the beach.
So you could put this like on your hands and body.
Exactly, and your face even.
And in Colorado, having something like coconut oil at home is so important because I mean you can tell like just putting on my hands how moisturizing it is. So.
And it's anti-aging as well.
Ooh, okay, I'll put this on my face.
And then cleaning products are another source of common chemicals, which is really important, especially if you have young children and pets. But again, you can make your own, which will not only protect you from the chemicals, but they will save you a ton of money as well.
Yeah, so this is just baking soda that we have in this dish here?
Right. You can just mix some liquid Castile soap that you can buy at most grocery stores.
Castile soap, like how much do I put in?
About equal portions. It's not rocket science. Just whatever consistency you like. You mix it together, and you can use that anywhere you would use a scoff scrub or a, you know. If you want to save it for later.
Does it so it stores really well?
It does, as long as you have glycerin. That'll keep it from getting hard. Put it in an old ketchup bottle for a squeeze bottle.
Okay.
And there you go. Another of
all left there for you.
Another of my favorites is just equal portions of vinegar and water. Put it in a spray bottle. Use that all the places that you would spray or clean your counters or disinfect.
And you're good to go.
You're good to go.
All right, good tips, Donica. Thanks
you.
so much. We could talk about this all day.
Absolutely.
Some really cool tips, simple products that you just have at home. So if you would like to submit your green living tips for a chance to share them live on just go to our website, fox21news.com. Click on the Foxy Moms link near the top of the page. We're right back after the break.
I got a whole list of things that I talk about.
Yeah, just email Kristen and we'll throw you back. I mean, we've had multiple women come back again, so that'll be great. You did an awesome job.
Perfect.
That's perfect. I just wish we would have had more time.
No, no worries. I'm just getting ready to start a consulting business doing this, so it's perfect.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Thank you, sweetheart.
You bet.
Nice.
Here. You got those?
Don't drop them. Oh.
Niki, a bunch of things got
dropped.
Now what I'm going to do.
Now you get to go home and I have to go back to work. That's not fair, is it?
Time for you to go to bed. You have school tomorrow.
Bedtime already?
No more snow
days.
days.
Outside. Man. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
thank you
I really
so much.
appreciate
I
it.
do
It was nice
too.
to meet you. Nice to meet you, Jade. Nice to meet you as well. Thanks so
you.
much for coming in, guys. I'm sure we'll see you again.
That'd be great.
So yeah, it'll be
Thank you.
awesome. What did we drop?
Thank you, babe.
D4, D5, and D7.
Oh,
Jeez.
picture, but she's,
We're going to go to
so we just gotta put all the stuff
the
that.
event control package.
Maybe we can take it back up to the bathroom and rinse it out.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Am I close enough?
Step that way.
Making news across America tonight, gun violence and school safety takes on an extra emotional layer. This as the Senate debates gun control legislation, while outside the chamber, families from Newtown, Connecticut lobby lawmakers to take action. Fox's Craig Boswell reports from Washington.
Family members of those killed at Sandy Hook Elementary have joined President Obama to help push Congress on gun violence legislation. They flew from Connecticut with the president and are on Capitol Hill for face-to-face lobbying time.
We have a responsibility to do everything in our power to keep guns out of the hands of convicted criminals.
Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid is attempting to bring gun legislation to the floor, but slightly more than a dozen Republicans are threatening to filibuster. The centerpiece of the gun bill is an expansion of background checks, including a permanent record of gun sales, allowing law enforcement to trace weapons used in crime. Opponents call that a surveillance of constitutionally protected activity.
There are people who are very concerned about gun registries. So I think what these Republicans in the Senate are trying to do is give a voice to those constituents of theirs who believe that.
Today's efforts on Capitol Hill follow an emotional public event in Connecticut Monday when President Obama again said gun violence victims should not be denied a vote.
This is about doing the right thing for all the families who are here that have been torn apart by gun violence.
The White House is keeping up the pressure with public events on guns, today featuring the Vice President, tomorrow the First Lady. Due to the filibuster in the Senate, it will take 60 votes to formally launch debate on the actual bill. In Washington, Craig Boswell, Fox News.
Continuing our news across America tonight, a 4-year-old child gets his hands on a loaded gun during a family cookout and kills the wife of a sheriff's deputy. The victim, identified as 48-year-old Josephine Fanning. It happened Saturday night in Tennessee. Deputy Fanning and a male relative have been looking at the firearms in a bedroom. The child reportedly picked up the loaded gun from a bed, fired it once, hitting and killing Josephine. Well, stick with us, Terry. We'll have a week's worth of weather coming up next.
Let's take a look at a week's worth of weather. It's going to be cold tonight. Low of 10. Wind chills will take that temperature down below 0. 32 your high for tomorrow. And then look at that Thursday and Friday. Not bad. And over the weekend, we're into the 60s. In Pueblo, also a cold night tonight. A chilly day tomorrow. We're into the 50s on Thursday and Friday. 60s close to 70s Saturday and Sunday. That wraps up the 6:30 show. We'll see you at 9. I don't know. Don't know.